Okay, I had told you guys that we have two different special lines. The first one was vertical and horizontal lines. We just covered that. Now we're ready for special lines number two, and they are parallel and perpendicular lines. I know you've heard these words before because they are part of the middle school, elementary school curriculum. But let's just go over what they mean. Two parallel lines are lines that will never ever cross each other, never ever meet. So an example of those are drawn right over here, where you have two parallel lines and they will never meet. Two perpendicular lines, they definitely do cross each other, and they cross each other at a very special point. And that point right there is a 90-degree angle. So whenever you have two perpendicular lines, they will always cross each other at a 90-degree angle. I'm hoping that part is familiar to you guys. Now, what you may not have learned before, this is probably new to you, is how are the slopes related of parallel lines and perpendicular lines? So let's just read along with me. Here at the bottom over here, it says, for parallel lines, they have two lines that have the exact same slope. So when you have two parallel lines and I tell you the slope of one of them, then the other parallel line will have the exact same slope. And in this example, if m is equal to 2 over here, remember m stands for slope. So this is basically telling you the slope is equal to 2, then the other line will have the exact same slope. If I drew a third parallel line, it would also have the exact same slope. How about perpendicular lines? For this one, we're going to have to think about it. Two lines that have slopes that are opposite reciprocals, or another way to think about it are, I don't even like the word opposite that much. I'm going to say negative reciprocals. What this means is if one of the slopes is positive, the other one has to be negative. If one of the slopes is negative, the other one has to be positive. So they will always have two different signs. And the word reciprocal means we're going to flip them over. So let's see what's happening with this example. One of the lines has m is equal to 2. So what do we do? Well, first of all, if that's positive, that means our perpendicular line is going to have a negative. And Shams, you're absolutely right. This is like saying 2 over 1. When you flip these numbers around, it's going to become 1 over 2. So there are two different things happening. First of all, the sign changes. So because this was positive, our other slope is going to be negative. And because this is 2 over 1, our other slope will be 1 over 2. So let's use these concepts and try a bunch of different questions to help us get really, really good at this stuff. Okay. Determine the negative reciprocal of the following. So first, we're just going to practice flipping things around. Okay, again, I want to see a lot of answers in the chat. I will wait until people answer. I want at least 2 people to answer every question before I go on. So the first one is 2 over 3. What do you guys think is the negative reciprocal? So change the sign and flip it around. I see Shams and Ari with the answers. Good job, you guys. This would just be negative 3 over 2. How about the next one? I'm going to write an equal sign. I realize there's an equal sign there already. Okay, so you guys are really, really close. It definitely is 6 over 5, but remember you changed the sign. So do you see how it already has a negative? The opposite of that would be positive. So it would, exactly, Ari, you got it. It would be 6 over 5. I realize I don't like that color. And this would just be 6 over 5. Okay, now for the next one, we actually need to change it from a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. So remember how we do that? We multiply these, we add this, and you keep the denominator. So this would basically just be 3 over 2. Okay, and what do you guys think would be the negative reciprocal of that? Thank you, Abarami. Thank you, Shams. Thanks, Ari. It would be negative 2 over 3. I wanted to include a couple of whole numbers just to help you recognize that any whole number is always written as over 1. And Shams, you got it right. It would be negative 1 over 6. And this one is negative 2 over 1. So when you take the negative reciprocal, what do you guys think? Close, Shams. Abarami, you got it right. Gabriel, you're close. Ari, just be careful of the negative sign. Yep, Ari, you got it right. Gabriel, good. You guys fixed it. So it should just be 1 over 2. I love the participation there. Thank you guys so much. Question number 2. Find the equation of the line. So let's just highlight some of the more important things. Parallel to y is equal to -3 over 4x plus 8 and passing through 0, 8. This question has a lot going on. I'm going to pause for a second so you can read it about 3 times before we continue. Okay, so first of all, they've given us a random equation and they're telling us we have a line that is parallel to this equation and it's also passing through 0, 8. All right, so if we have a line over here, I'll actually show you how to do the first one because the next few are very similar to this one. What we're going to do is we're going to take the equation that they've given us and we're going to try and figure out the slope of this line. So the equation that they gave us, I'll rewrite it here, is y is equal to -3 over 4x plus 8. We're really lucky because this question is already in y is equal to mx plus b form. So if I were to write that, y is equal to mx plus b. Can you guys tell me what the slope of this line is? Yep, Ari, you got it right. The slope is -3 over 4 because it's in the form that it's supposed to be in. You just read off the x. So for this line that they've given us, the slope is -3 over 4. Now, they're telling us that our line that we're trying to figure out the equation of is parallel to it. So what do you think the slope of our line is going to be if it's parallel? It's also going to be -3 over 4. Yeah, Ari, because parallel lines have the exact same slope. Perfect. So now they've told us that the slope of the line is -3 over 4 and 0, 8. If you just draw a quick sketch of it, 0, 8 is over here. This is the y-intercept, right? It's going through the y-axis. So what they've really told us is our slope is -3 over 4. Our y-intercept is the number 8. Can we put all of that together to make an equation of a line? The answer is yes, we can. And you probably need just a little bit of a refresher of what we did before the break. So I'll go over that with you. You're just going to be putting the slope into the y is equal to mx plus b equation where you see the m, and the y-intercept goes wherever you see the 8. So our final answer, I'm just going to change this to purple so that I can go ahead and use this. Our final equation is going to be y is equal to -3 over 4x plus 8. And you're going to recognize that it's exactly the same equation. I didn't mean for it to be the exact same equation, but it ends up being the same. You're going to recognize that the slopes of both of these lines are -3 over 4, and it just so happens they're also passing through the same y-intercept. Y-intercept stands for the letter B. Yeah. All right, that was kind of a crappy question because we ended up getting exactly the same answer. I didn't feel very satisfied with that. Let's try question B3. Find the equation of the line perpendicular to y is equal to -2x minus 6 with a y-intercept of -13. So let's try that one. I'll go ahead and write the equation on the side over here. We have a random line that they've told us y is equal to -2x minus 6. Luckily, this is in the form y is equal to mx plus b. So can you tell me what the slope of this random line is? Yep, you got it right. The slope of this random line is -2. Now, our line is perpendicular to this line. So what is the slope of our line going to be? So -2 is the slope of that line. We want to take the negative reciprocal. Not quite. I don't see the answer yet. Now I see it. Good. So change the negative to a positive. And 2 over 1 becomes 1 over 2. So the answer is just going to be a slope of a half. All right, so let's just see what's happened here. They gave us an equation of a random line, which is y is equal to negative 2x minus 6. We figured out the slope of that random line is negative 2. Our line is perpendicular to that random line. So we can now figure out that our slope is a half because perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals. Okay, they've also told us that our line has a y-intercept of negative 13. So remember, the symbol for negative intercept or y-intercept is b. So now we know the slope of our line is a half. The y-intercept of our line is negative 13. We can now take that information, put it together into y is equal to mx plus b form. So the answer would just be y is equal to a half x minus 13. That was a much better question. Yep, Gabriel, good job. You got it right. Just don't forget the x after the half. Okay, question 4 and 5. It says find the equation of the line through 4 comma negative 3 and perpendicular to the x-axis. You guys, whenever you see the words perpendicular or parallel to an axis, you can't do any math for it, like calculations. The best you can do is you can draw a picture. So just like our lesson before, kind of trying to tie in both of those lessons, we're going to draw a picture and see what's happening. Okay, so why is this so extended? There we go. And I wonder if I can copy this and then paste it. Oh no, I did something weird. I don't know what I did. Copy. Okay. Should I really be trying this while I'm recording? Probably not. Okay. I'm just going to not do anything. All right. So find the equation of the line through 4 comma negative 3. Let's sketch where 4 comma negative 3 would be. If this is approximately 4, I'm going to say this is approximately negative 3. And it's going to be parallel. So I'm just not going to write the numbers. We know that they're there. It's going to be perpendicular to the x-axis. So if the x-axis is going side to side, perpendicular means it's going to be going at a right angle. And it's going to be going through the point 4 comma negative 3. So 4 comma negative 3 is approximately there. And the line we're going to draw is perpendicular to the x-axis. That means it's going to have to look like this. Okay, I've struggled a lot the last couple of minutes. If you're watching the recording, I apologize. There we go. And how do I know this is perpendicular to the x-axis? Because I can clearly see my line that I've drawn and the x-axis make a little 90-degree sign. Okay, so it says find the equation of the line going through 4 comma negative 3, which it is because I made a point there first, and it's clearly perpendicular to the x-axis. Anyone want to try and tell me what the equation of this line is? It's going through, it's a vertical line. So remember Vux. That means our equation has to be x is equal to something. And try to figure out what number it's going through. Awesome. Yep, you're right. So the equation is just going to be x is equal to 4. And that's our answer. We didn't have to do any calculations or anything. We just drew a picture. All right, let's try question number 5. It's the same thing. Find the equation of the line that is going through the same point, 4 comma negative 3, except this time it's going to be parallel to the x-axis. So let's try it again. We're going to draw our coordinates. All right, 4 comma negative 3 is actually the same point as before. So it's going to be 4 comma negative 3. It's going to be approximately there. And this time you're parallel to the x-axis, which means it's going to look exactly like the x-axis. Now I didn't write in the numbers because it gets a little messy, but just know that on the x-axis, you're going 4 across and then you're going -3 down. So this is a horizontal line. We're going to remember HOY, H-O-Y, horizontal line. It has a 0 slope. What do you think the equation is going to be? Good job, Gabriel. You got it right. Yep, exactly. It's going to be y is equal to -3. What I want you to do for homework. Okay, here, your only homework for this lesson. I really like this one, you guys. I'm going to say this is not optional. This is absolutely mandatory because it's just so much fun. Okay, here's what you're going to do. Graphing lines and catching zombies. So graph each line and match it to the zombie that it catches. To catch a zombie, the line must run through any part of its body. Each line should only catch one zombie. If you catch more than one, you were not precise enough. All right, so if I take a look at the you don't have to cut and paste anything. You could just write the letter. So let's look at the first one. It says the line is going through -10, 16. So I'm going to try and find -10, 16, which is going to be it's definitely there, -10, 16. And it's parallel to this. That means if it's parallel, we're going to have the same slope. So our slope is going to be 1/2. This goes back to the lesson of drawing a line. If you have a slope of 1/2, that means you're going up 1, 2 to the right. Okay, so I'm going to try that. I'm going to go up 1, 2 to the right, up 1, 2 to the right. I'm going to keep doing that until I can't do it anymore. Up 1, 2 to the right, up 1, 2 to the right. And then the other version of this is going to be down 1, 2 to the left. So starting from that same point, down 1 to the left. We don't really need to plot these points because we can already see the zombie that we killed. But just to make sure we have it right, I'll go ahead and draw it. You have to be super neat. If you want, you can color code this so that you can be as accurate as possible as well. Okay, and so that's my line. So which zombie did I just, are we killing them or are we catching them? We're catching them. Which zombie, I'm so violent. Which zombie did I just catch? It's this one right here. So this guy, you would just put an A. It matches 8. I'm hoping that they're not in the order that they are in. That'd be really funny if they had it in the order. Anyways, try this. I think it's a really cool activity and it'll really, really help you practice. It'll help you practice multiple things. First of all, figuring out what parallel and perpendicular slopes mean, and also practice drawing a line when you get a point and you get the slope. The red is like the blood dripping from the zombie. No, I didn't kill the zombie. I merely caught it and I will release him into the underworld. Well, Javen, 1 second. We're almost done. Do you guys understand this this activity, or are you guys okay with it? All right, so stop the recording.